How you doing, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today, just in case you could not guess what I'm going to be talking about, is this guy here. So I'm going to be talking about the NanGuang CN100 FC. Let's get this down. Before I talk more about the CN100 FC, I wanted to set the record straight. NanGuang in the UK particularly gets a bit of a hard time as cheap Chinese LED. Now, I'm not too sure how it is in the States or in Canada or other places in the world, but the rap is it's cheap Chinese LED. I've been using a range of their products, and I've got to be completely honest, I don't see them as cheap, I see them as affordable. And what I mean by that is, of course they have some lower end products that in terms of a price point are quite cheap, and that's reflective in the quality. You know, if you're going to pick up an LED panel for, you know, 50 to 100 pounds, you can't expect superior quality. When you start to move up the scale to the higher end products, the quality of them aligns with anything else in the industry. And also as well, in terms of the quality of the light they push out, people tend to think if it's cheap, the light it's going to produce is inferior. In terms of CRI and TLCI and things like that, this product competes, and it's only really within 1 or 2 points on each of those scales from some of the leading manufacturers. I'm talking about Arri, I'm talking about KinoFlow, in terms of its ability to fall on sort of colour accuracy. I'm not going to go into massive details talking about what CRI is and TCLI is. There's loads of different content places that you can go and find the answer to those, and I'll put some of the links down below. So I want to clear that up. If you're considering purchasing NanGuang products, or you're looking at a NanGuang product versus something else, such as the quality it offers is marginal, absolutely marginal, but in terms of the difference from a price perspective, is quite huge. So if you are a photographer or a videographer or somebody who is being pushed to do both stills and video and doesn't have the ability to afford both sets of lights, so lights for flash and lights for continuous, so you can cover both video and photography, these products are absolutely excellent for you, and I've been using them in a lot of my work, and they deliver amazing results. And the marginal difference in terms of quality that you might get is all going to be adjusted in post-production anyway. You know, what you shoot in camera isn't finished that way. There's always going to be a level of post-production where you can, you know, fix any of those things that may be marginally off. But to really go into this product, we need to go to the studio. So hang fire, we'll go downstairs, set up, and we'll talk a little bit more detail about this. So here we have it, we are in the studio, and I'm going to start with unboxing this, and then we'll set up and start talking about some of its core USPs. So yeah. So like all good product videos, there should be an unboxing. So this is the unboxing of the CN100 FC. So this is a LED Fresnel, and it's 100 watts. So a 100 watt LED is pretty powerful. We'll put this box over here. As you can see, it's packaged pretty well. Let's get rid of the cellophane. The good thing with NanGuang is most of the leading products, like the core, really good top of the range products, and pretty much all of them throughout the whole range, they all come in a neat carry case that makes it easy and convenient to carry this kit around. Now, this is a bi-color light, which means it has the ability to shift color temperature. So you can go from a cool color temperature all the way through to more of a tungsten, you know, daylight through to tungsten temperature, which is great if you've got different skin tones. So you can see there we've got an instruction manual sort of talking about all the core USPs in there, and we'll go into that a little bit later. Then from here we have a set of barn doors. As you can hear, they are metal, they are not plastic. They feel really good quality, very, very, very good quality indeed. Everything is neatly packed in. Get rid of that, pop that there, slide that little component out, pull this beast from its housing and wake it from its slumber. So there we go. It's got a handy hook cable, which is great. Power adapter. Got that, that's fantastic. Let's make sure everything is out, and then we'll rest this down and show you it all there. Cool. So here is the unit itself, and I can tell you in terms of build quality, it is absolutely solid. Everything locks into place, and it's all metal, as you can hear. The clips on here are plastic, but the threads and the metal arms holding them are metal. You can then see at the back, if I show you that, this is the control panel. So you can see obviously all of these dials, color temperature, power. Through there you've got your power supply. It'll also run a DMX, so it means if you have multiple of these, you can sequence them and make sure they all align color wise. A handy hook cable, so if you mount it to the ceiling, this is not going to fall over, and a bracket that will allow it to either go on a stand or on a ceiling and swivel accurately. You then have all of your power cables, your barn doors, and your instruction manuals. So that's pretty much the unboxing. What I'm going to do now is put it all together, turn it on, and talk about its functionality. So we've got it all set up now, so let's start from the back of the machine. And again, I can only reiterate the quality of it. It's so solid. It weighs a fair amount. You know, it's got proper sort of power impact. It's, you know, it's a phenomenal feeling bit of kit. Click that there, that switches our unit on, and you can see our power controls here. So this is going to give us our color temperature, and I'd imagine they are so this here is 5,600 all the way through to 3,200. So that's your color temperature, all the way from a cool all the way up into 5,600, which will be a more tungsten warmer color, and we'll show you that in a second. You then have your DMX in and DMX out, so you can control this in a sequence of light. So if you're doing a massive production, you could use this piece of kit. And then you have the ability here to change the power. So at the moment, you can see if I turn this up, ramp this all the way up, you can see the power control here. So that's stepping up in stages to show you where it is in terms of its power capacity. So there is a set of barn doors, as you can see. I'll open those up for you now, and you can get an idea of the power that's being emitted from it. So I'll turn that up, and as you spread the barn doors, you can see the impact that has. If I move this a little bit further away, you can see the impact that has on the shape of the light, and that's why you would have a set of barn doors, to be able to control and make these unique patterns of light. So if I was going to do a portrait session and I only wanted a sliver of light across their face, I could utilize this here. Or if I was filming something and I wanted to make it look like the light was beaming through a crack, this is what you'd use that for. And again, you can adjust the color temperature. So this is a cooler light. This may be sort of like an early winter evening, so to speak, and this is moving into the spring, sort of, you know, coming up at the crack of dawn, or sort of in later on in the evening. So you can see the color adjustments there, which is pretty cool. Then, because it is a Fresnel, one of the great things with Fresnels is they have the ability to zoom in and zoom out, which will effectively give you a wider beam of light or a more narrower beam of light. So if I do that now, as you can see, actually let's open that up all the way, and you can see as I narrow this, the beam of light becomes more concentrated. So combining that with the barn doors, and what effectively that does is just narrows the light down. So if I open that back up again and I close it, you can see that light becomes wider. Now, from a lighting perspective, in terms of getting a hard light or a soft light, this is a soft light because it's a wider light source. In comparison to myself, this source of light is wider because how it's being pushed out. LED also has the key benefit of always producing a relatively soft light in comparison to flash. Flash is a tiny bulb. It has to be put through baffles and diffusers to be able to make it softer. LEDs have the ability to be, you know, incredibly soft by nature. But as you can see again, if I do this, this will become a much harder light, but still soft. If we can look at the difference in the shadows here, it's still a lot softer, and we can use the barn doors to close it up. So give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna spin this around. Let's turn the power down actually before we spin this around and blind you all. So spin this around, and you can see you have a set of barn doors here that come with the unit, and they give you the ability to control the light as mentioned. Solid build, and they just clip off the front like so. And then this is the locking mechanism to be able to go from a wider or a softer light point, which is pretty cool. If I push this clip in on the side, spin this out, you can then see the LED. Now this isn't your normal LED, this is a beast. This is a 100-watt LED. It will start to produce some heat, but not as much heat in comparison to, say for instance, a 100-watt filament bulb, but it'll give you an idea. I'm just gonna switch that off now. So in terms of using LED for photography and for using video. You know, LED has come a long way in the last few years, and the movie industry has been using LED for some time yet, and now more and more photographers are cottoning onto it and being like, oh, actually I can use continuous light for both stills and for moving image. And the modern photographer is being pushed more and more to be able to do moving image and also stills. So if you're a wedding photographer and you have to do a bit of video and you have to do a bit of stills, you have a complete light that has the ability to do both. Traditionally, you'd have to have flash and then you'd have to have continuous light. So by using this, you know, you've got a light that will give you much more versatility, and you know, from a business perspective, that versatility is going to equal pounds. So you know, LED, I would highly recommend it in terms of if you've got the budget to afford something like this, 100%. I'm in a studio environment, that's why I have the luxury of using this, but there are lower down models. So there's the 60, which is a 60 watt variant of this, which is cheaper in comparison, but in terms of like a top of the range unit, I 5 out of 5 stars. So really well worth it if you are into stills or video or anything along those lines. So I'll put a link down below for this product if you're interested in sort of picking one up. If you have any questions, pop them down below. If you like the video and you want to see more, make some suggestions below, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Until next time guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.